Hey everyone, Squires, the Narcissistic Abuse and Parental Alienation Specialist. Today I want to talk about the 3 main tactics that a narcissist will use to alienate you from your child's life. So there's lots of different tactics that a narcissist will use, but today we're going to look at the 3 main ones. The first one is obviously false allegations, and there's a couple of reasons that they do this. The first and main one is the narcissist will always try and take on the role of either the hero or the victim. And so when they're making allegations, either of domestic violence against them or child abuse against the children, they're getting to play both roles. They're getting to be the victim, so everyone thinks they're perfectly justified in alienating you, or they get to play the hero because they are protecting the child. And it seems very logical that they would take that decision to cut you out because they're saying all these things have happened. What they also do in the next tactic is that they triangulate with the professionals. Professionals have an automatic need to protect vulnerable people. That's why you go into that profession. It's certainly why I became a social worker, is that I really wanted to help the most vulnerable people. And so when someone's coming to you saying that they've been abused or that their children have been abused, it taps into our core beliefs and our core values. And so we kind of go into protect mode. And that's how clever the narcissist is, in that it creates this triangle between them as the victim, you, the professional, as the hero, and you as the villain. And you all play out your own roles. And the professional is triangulated within that and sees those roles incredibly clearly. And it's very hard to change those. And so that's what the narcissist does. It very cleverly creates this power triangle, which they're manipulating the whole time. But everyone within that has their own different roles, and it's very clear to each one of them what those roles are, but there's no real crossover, no communication that actually breaks that triangle down. So the abuse and the alienation continues because they're all feeding into the same triangle and playing out their roles very effectively. The final way, which is the hardest part to deal with parental alienation, is the coaching of children. They will probably start off with a game where they say to the child, well, if you tell so-and-so when they come round that you don't want to see mummy or daddy, or that this happened, I'll buy you that present that you really want. And so the child, going along thinking it's a game, will say everything that's expected of them. They'll get lots of positive reinforcement. The worker will give them all this attention. So they're thinking, oh, this is great. Just say this and everyone's talking to me. Everyone's giving me this attention. Because they won't be getting that from the narcissist majority of the time. To ensure that they maintain this, they will then introduce a fear element that if they don't do what they're asking, there will be repercussions of that. And so it becomes, they are essentially brainwashed because they're conditioned to behave in these ways. And professionals just think that the child's being honest, and the more conditioning that goes on, the more the child starts to believe. And I'm doing a research paper at the moment about false memories. And actually the child, through practicing saying these things and being told repeatedly what has happened, what has been done to them, they will eventually start to believe this is true. And so when they are giving this information to professionals and other people, they're very plausible because the child themselves have actually started to believe it. And so the professionals obviously then believe it. And again, we go back to the triangle where you are the villain and the victim is very clear, and the professional role as the hero is very clear as well. And so, like I say, the strength of that triangle just gets stronger and stronger, and it becomes very hard to break that down. And that's where a lot of you are at the moment, is that you're stuck in this triangle and no one can see the way that it's been deliberately manipulated to put everyone into these roles. Unfortunately, I'm not very well today, so I'm going to have to keep this video short. But I hope that those points are certainly things that you can recognise, and you're starting to gain a good understanding of what goes on. If you are experiencing this, please do reach out. Email address is on the screen, inquiries@thenurturingcoach.co.uk. Do grab a copy of the guide that I've put together around fighting parental alienation. The link is on the screen and it will also be in the description. Do take care of yourself. I hope that Christmas isn't too painful. I know it will be, but try your hardest to make it as enjoyable as you possibly can. You don't want to let them ruin another thing in your life. Take care everyone, and we'll speak soon. Bye bye.